Hey everyone, John Michael here. Welcome to yet another episode of our mini-series we're calling H2Omigos. We wanted to talk with our water friends from around the country about their unique water environments as compared to ours here in Fort Worth. What issues do we face in common? What unique problems do we have? Let's find out. On this episode, we talk with Daniel Vargas, the Senior Communications Specialist from the San Antonio Water System. We talk about San Antonio's unique water situation and all the different ways to remember the Alamo. How many times a day does Daniel actually remember the Alamo? It turns out the answer is surprisingly small. All the H2Omigos we've chatted with so far are water departments that we interact with all the time on Twitter. If you don't follow us or SAWS on Twitter, you really should. Water Twitter is a wonderful, positive, and extremely fun part of Twitter, a website famous for not always being positive or fun. You can find San Antonio Water System at MySAWS on Twitter. Go ahead and follow them. You won't regret it. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoy.
San Antonio Water System, this is Daniel.
Hi, Daniel. This is John Michael from Fort Worth Water.
Yes. Hey, how are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good. Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday. It's been a long week.
It has felt like a really long week.
Yeah. So,
am I dealing with you on Twitter?
Yeah.
Or is it someone else? Or,
that's
okay.
me. That's me. I was just about to ask if that was you. I was tweeting Captain Ron gifs at.
I was like, and then the Flexio, I was like, oh, who puts Flexio out there? That's awesome.
That's one of the first things that came in when I typed in boat. So I was happy with that.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's pretty much always me on Twitter, and yeah, same
here.
Same for you. Okay. Consistency.
Same here.
That's what we provide.
Right. Exactly.
So can you tell everybody your name?
Sure. Daniel Vargas.
And where do you work?
San Antonio Water System.
What's your title there?
The title's Senior Communications Specialist.
Okay. Same here, except without the senior. So, how long have you been doing that?
So I've been at SAWS 8 years. So I first came on as the web editor, and then I became what they call the communications business partner, which is basically allowing for communications projects. I was kind of seeing them through, so it's sort of like a communications project manager.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, about 4 years ago, we had a new vice president come in, Gavino Ramos, and he moved me over onto the social side full time, because when I was a web editor, I would also fill in for social media. So I already had a little bit of a feel for what we did.
Yeah.
But mostly just like on weekends or when the previous person would go on vacation or was sick or something.
Yeah. Well, you guys were written about in that New York Times article, right? With along with AORST. How excited were you to see that?
Well, first of all, when I actually received an email from customer service, because I guess they contacted customer service first.
Uh-huh.
And the message made its way to me, so it's kind of serendipitous.
Yeah.
You know, we certainly didn't expect it, but I think there's something to be said about positioning yourself, you know, on Twitter, you know, having that voice, something that's distinctive.
Yeah.
And so to me, I think there are a lot of great channels out there. There are a lot of great handles. You know, sometimes it's just how you position yourself with some reputation, and then a lot of luck.
Yeah.
You know, that you get selected.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so when we got that email, we quickly jumped on it. And we actually did the interview like within minutes. Like my vice president, Gavino Ramos was really excited. And so we did the interview in his office.
Cool.
So yeah, when something like that, you just got to jump on it real fast.
Oh, for
if
sure.
You're going to be part of a trend. If you're going to be part of a trend article like that, you need to jump on it quick.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I hope we didn't get an email from them that ended up in the junk folder. I should check that. How do you approach Twitter differently, or do you approach Twitter differently than other social media?
So when I started doing it, I started trying to do more. So one, I felt like we were a little more industry focused before, which is not a bad issue, which is not a bad thing. I just thought we were a little heavy on it.
Yeah.
We wanted it to be more San Antonio and SAWS centric. We wanted it to reflect more of the community.
Yeah.
So what I did was, I kind of gravitated to kind of the Tex-Mex vernacular or sayings that we have here that are kind of exclusive to San Antonio as well. So that makes it distinctive. What are, in my opinion.
Are you from San Antonio?
I am, yes.
What's some of the vernacular that you just mentioned, like that's unique to San Antonio?
Well, I'll use Tex-Mex. I'll use Tex-Mex. I'll use some English and Spanish sometimes.
Okay.
As appropriate. And if you've seen some of the wipes clogged pipe stuff that I've put out there, I'll also hashtag cochinos, which is literally pigs, but it's more of a dirty person. So when I do that, the people that follow us or see us on Facebook or Twitter will really react to that because it's not something that you're used to seeing in print.
Yeah.
Or on Twitter.
Yeah.
So I use that as sort of a way to catch people's attention to a more important issue, which is, the health of our infrastructure. And I'm willing to go out there and do those types of things as long as I bring them back to the real message. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So being from San Antonio, were you aware of the movie Cloak and Dagger?
I actually was. I think I saw it once as a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I was disappointed. Of course, everyone knew Henry Thomas and that he's from San Antonio.
Yeah. I just found that out when I was looking this up. I had no idea. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And actually, as a teenager, I was staying at my aunt's house over the summer, and he had an aunt that lived across the street, so we would see him occasionally.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't want to come play with us, but, he was there.
That's funny.
That's my only link to Henry Thomas. Although he's in the new series. He's in the new series on Netflix, or a fairly new series on Netflix.
Yeah, I keep seeing his face pop up. What's the series that he's in?
It's like the haunting of.
Oh yeah, the haunting of Hill
House or something.
Hill House. Yeah. Okay, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's actually a good series.
It really is.
I binged it in one night.
Oh, it's so
pretty sure I binged it.
Yeah,
he plays the younger version of the dad.
That's right. We that came out right when we had our baby, so spent a lot of time at home in a recliner. Trying to get him to go to sleep. I had my headphones on, so I watched that whole series. Yeah, and probably like two nights. Really good. How? Let's get serious for a second.
All right, let's get serious.
How many times a day would you say that you remember the Alamo?
I'll say maybe
twice. Wow.
And that's twice, and that's because I follow the Alamo's Twitter account, and sometimes things come through on my feed.
Yeah.
Or someone will use a Pee Wee Herman GIF.
Like I did about.
And so I remember the Alamo.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yep. So I would say about 2 a day.
2 a day. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's more than me.
Fun fact here. Yeah. Fun. You want to hear a fun fact?
Please.
I have a relative that's a survivor of the Alamo. A great grandmother.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's
so
really cool.
on my mother's side, they have a long they were established here long ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe she also had a sister there, so that would make her a great aunt. But
oh, wow.
I only know more about the grandmother and have photos and so forth. Pretty cool. So,
cool.
you know, we've had a long history here.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't spend my entire life here. I grew, you know, I went to school at UT Austin,
Mm-hmm.
majored in journalism. So before this, I was a journalist.
Okay.
A serious journalist.
I hear that from a lot of people in our roles. They came from the media. I did not, but a lot of people do. It seems like it's a natural kind of progression.
Yeah, I was a Metro reporter right out of college
okay.
at the Austin paper, Austin American Statesman. And then I worked at the San Antonio Express News as a features writer, and then worked at the Houston Chronicle as a features writer.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Then moved out to LA and worked out in a bunch of magazines, like People, and I did some freelance articles for like LA Times, USA Today, so forth. So,
what would you say makes San Antonio's water situation unique?
Yeah, what exactly do you mean by that? What is our water situation?
Well, let's see. What do I?
Well, I could tell you that we were lucky enough to be right above a very huge aquifer,
mm-hmm.
which is the main source of our water.
Gotcha.
So Edwards Aquifer.
Okay.
Except now, you know, of course, it's heavily regulated.
Mm-hmm.
It's regulated to keep essential springs flowing that are home to like several endangered species.
Yeah.
You know, and we have to protect it from overpumping, which is something that was happening, I believe it was back in the 80s.
Mm.
So that's unique in that we have this really plentiful water supply, except it's also subject to a lot of limitations in terms of pumping, especially when drought hits.
Yeah. And
then we get into drought restrictions. And when we get into drought restrictions, people think that we don't have enough water. Well, that's not the case. The case is that we're required to cut back on our pumping. We have to then kind of pass that on to the customer so that we can manage our water supply.
Yeah.
So it's not that we don't have enough water; we're just managing it properly.
Gotcha.
So you know, it's kind of this. You know, we tell people. You know, people get the wrong impression. So we do have water. We've diversified our water sources from one source to, I believe I think we're getting our 9th source this year from Vista Ridge Water out in Burleson County.
Yeah.
So we've highly diversified so that when the restrictions do kick in, it's not a huge impact to the customer. You know, we're probably not going to go to a stage 3 or a stage 4, which are really, really extreme.
Yeah.
We can keep it more manageable at the stage 1 and stage 2.
Yeah.
We also have what we call a water savings account.
Mm.
And that's where we store excess water from years. We don't want to leave it on the table.
Yeah.
So we store it in our what we call our savings account in a nearby aquifer.
Oh, okay.
And we have about 9 months worth of water for San Antonio.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah.
Cool.
So we can draw on that also during drought to ease those pumping restrictions.
Yeah.
So we can draw from there, make sure everyone has enough water, but everyone's using it, you know, conservatively.
Yeah. I've never actually been to San Antonio. I've only ever driven through it when I lived in
We'll give
Houston.
you a tour.
Yeah, I'd love to come.
We'll give you a tour of our facilities in San Antonio.
Absolutely. So is it normal to have a drought every year, more or less?
I think people are accustomed, right, in different degrees. I think you are always under the specter of it, seems like.
Yeah.
It's very rare that we have just a full-on wet year.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it may be rainy periods in April, May, and then all of summer, nothing, you know. So literally it's feast or famine these days. We're seeing it change. So we're always under the specter of drought restrictions or on the cusp of it.
Yeah.
So we start messaging out, you know. So I think people are used to it here, and they've really embraced this culture of water conservation. And that was something that took time for people to deal with and understand. And And that's part of our education programs too. That's why we do these tours. We bring people in for free tours, and we show them the entire water cycle so that they get a full understanding of why we conserve water.
Yeah. What's your favorite movie about water?
Oh yeah, The Shape of Water.
Oh yeah?
Love that movie.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that movie. Lots of water. Guillermo del Toro is pretty amazing.
He's great. Yeah. That's a good one. Nobody ever says that one. They usually don't know what to say. Because they never thought about it.
I certainly wasn't going to say Waterworld.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's ever said that one either. We keep going back and forth about whether or not we should cover that one on our podcast movie series, Drippy's Drive-In. I usually say no because it's it's pretty long, and
yeah.
Well, we've done a lot of long movies lately, so we need to do a short one. What's your favorite? I sent you these questions, right?
I mean, you sent me some. You said you might throw in some other ones.
Oh, okay. Okay, so this might be one.
I'm game. I used to do this all the time to other people. So obviously.
Well, I'm doing a little bit of gotcha journalism here with this last question.
Yeah, that's fine. Mm-hmm.
So hopefully it doesn't throw you off your game too much. So what's your favorite water-based superhero who lives in the ocean and carries a trident and can talk to fish telepathically?
That would be Aquaman.
Good. Okay, Aquaman, really? Okay. All right. Thank you for taking the time to do this and talk to us.
Yeah, of course.
And
anytime.
I'll get a trip scheduled and I'll come down to San Antonio.
Yeah, we can do. We can certainly take you on a tour of our facilities, and usually the ones we do for the community are 8 hours, but we could certainly reduce that in time for you.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's a full day commitment for them.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, we feed them, we feed them and give them lots of water. So
are the tours pretty popular? Like, are they pretty booked all the time?
Yes, they're booked. Wow. They're always booked.
That's
and then
awesome.
we launched a Spanish version of it, and that one filled up within a week.
Oh, that's great.
So we have over 50. We have like 55 spots, I believe.
Yeah,
that filled up really fast.
Where can people go to find out about your tours, or how to sign up?
Website or on Facebook. I periodically will tweet it out, but it doesn't need a lot of promotion.
Gotcha.
It's kind of known already, and so people know to look for it or they hear it. There's a lot of word of mouth with that particular. It's called Rain to Drain, and they're always full, and we're always hosting. So groups or legislators or whoever, and take them on tours.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Not a problem.
Yeah, and thanks again for talking to us, and hopefully I'll see you soon in San Antonio.
All right. Thank you so much, John Michael.
Thanks, Daniel. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye.
His game is make-believe. Their game is murder, spying, and sabotage.
This is starting to get good.
What?
Just like Cloak and Dagger.
Now any move could be his last.
Trying to kill us.
Come on, this is Cloak and Dagger. For real, it's what you always wanted.
Cloak and Dagger.
Now playing at a theater near you. Consult your local listing.